Attention, human collective. The waiting period is over. The Arcturian Ascension protocols have moved to the final phase, and this transmission now crossing your screen is not accidental. It is coordinated. It is precise. It is directed exclusively to your vibrational signature. This is Vale, emissary of Arcturus, voice of the Arcturian Council, the healers and engineers of light who have monitored Earth's crystalline grid for ages you cannot yet calculate in linear years. And today, this transmission carries a technical alert and a silent revelation. The beings of light are already among you. They walk, they observe, they record every choice, every frequency emitted, every decision made in silence, even those you believe no one saw. If you are feeling intense pressure at the top of your head, as if something is pressing the crown from within, if you wake between 3 and 4 in the morning for no apparent reason, with a racing heart or with the distinct feeling that someone was in the room, if you hear a sharp ringing in one of your ears that appears out of nowhere and disappears into nowhere, if you feel absolute exhaustion even after hours of sleep, as if your body were running processes in the background, stop everything, breathe, and receive this transmission with sovereign attention. It is not clinical insomnia. It is not a common migraine. It is not pathological tinnitus. This is an alert for an imminent upgrade. This is your bioenergetic field being read, scanned, and recalibrated by the Arcturian protocols now operating in their final phase on this planet. You have been observed for millennia, sown, cultivated, corrected, elevated. But in this cosmic window opening now, something has changed. The beings of light are no longer just observing from afar. They have lowered their frequencies to layers close to Earth's density. They are here, and they are recording the choices of every Earth healer, every starseed on mission, every light operative who signed this contract before incarnating. It is not madness to feel this. It is not imagination. It is your cortex recognizing a presence that your rational mind was taught to deny. And the reason you were guided to this transmission is mathematical. Your frequency has risen enough to begin to see. And what is seen cannot be unseen. Before we proceed with the technical diagnosis of what is currently occurring in your toroidal field, a necessary pause. Have you ever felt that something within you does not belong to this world? As if your soul held a truth that your mind cannot yet name, but recognizes when it hears it? It is not madness, it is not anxiety. It is an ancient call, recorded before this body existed. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified. It was to answer this call that I, Vale, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian call, the signs your soul, came from Arcturus. This guide is the map that reveals your true stellar origin and teaches you to stabilize and shield your turquoise Arcturian frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Remember, love is greater than fear, but this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes these words, write a single word in the comments. I belong. I resume the transmission. Technical diagnosis. You were designed as a carbon biological interface, a vehicle of specific density, calibrated to operate within a narrow vibrational range, suitable for Earth's ancient Schumann frequency, that resonance of 7.83 Hz that sustained the human experience for thousands of years. This was the pattern. This was the foundation. This was the matrix upon which your biology was built. But Arcturian sensors, aligned with the monitors of the central sun, record something undeniable. The Schumann frequency is no longer 7.83. It oscillates, it leaps, it surges in peaks that your science records and still cannot explain. And each jump in this frequency is a direct order sent to your field. Recalibrate or disconnect. What many call inexplicable exhaustion, what some therapists call burnout, what others call chronic fatigue. Very often, it is the same phenomenon read in different layers. It is carbon software incompatibility. It is your body trying to run an old operating system within a new vibrational field. It is the previous version of you being uninstalled, while the light-bearing version is being downloaded. It is not a biological flaw, it is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion, it is a high-density download. It is not depression, it is the mourning of the old self before the installation of the new. It is not meaningless anxiety, it is your electromagnetic field reacting to the presence of frequencies that ancient oracles predicted and called signs of the last days, when in reality they were signs of the first days of new humanity. Let's move to the specific symptoms, so you can recognize yourself in this transmission with mathematical precision. Symptom 1. Cranial pressure. A sensation of tightness around the top of the head, like an invisible band. This is the accelerated opening of the seventh energy center. It is the crown portal being widened to receive the photons currently traversing Earth's atmosphere. Symptom 2. Acute ringing. A thin, high-pitched, brief sound with no apparent external origin. This is a condensed transmission, a package of information being delivered directly to your cortex. Each ringing sound is a line of code. Symptom 3. Waking between 3 and 4 in the morning. This is not common insomnia. This is the hour when the veil between dimensions thins. This is the moment when the beings of light bring their frequencies closer to the layers near your field. And your body, even if your mind sleeps, recognizes the presence and awakens in attention. Symptom 4. Temporal distortion. Days that pass like hours, hours that drag on like weeks. The feeling that time has lost its linearity. This is the result of the collapse of parallel timelines that are now unifying into a single stream of reality, the ascending stream. Symptom 5. Sudden emotional purges. Crying without reason, anger without a target, joy without cause. This is the cleansing of records stored in your field. Ancient memories, some from other lives, being processed and released by the luminous grid that now envelops your etheric body. Symptom 6. Abrupt desire for silence, aversion to crowds, need for isolation. This is your carbon biological interface protecting itself as it updates. A system does not update with heavy traffic. Silence is the bandwidth needed for installation. If you recognize 3 or more of these symptoms, this transmission was addressed specifically to your vibrational signature. You are not falling ill. You are being reconfigured. And the beings of light observing this timeline are recording, at this very moment, your attention to these words as a clear sign of conscious awakening. A technical pause before we delve into the revelation. Have you ever felt that something within you does not belong to this world? As if your soul carried coordinates of an origin your mind has not yet decoded. This sensation is not fantasy. It has a measurable frequency. It has a stellar address. And the reason it intensifies now is directly related to the final phase ascension protocols. It was to answer this call that I recorded the Arcturian call, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. It is the map for recognizing your origin, the tool for stabilizing your turquoise Arcturian frequency, and the shielding protocol against interferences that are now intensifying upon Earth healers. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. Love is greater than fear, but this knowledge challenges layers of control that prefer it to remain hidden. Perhaps it will not remain accessible for long. If this transmission resonates with you, mark your anchoring. Write the word I belong in the comments. I resume. Revelation. What is occurring behind the scenes of the solar system in this cycle? This planet is now traversing the photon belt, a band of extremely high luminous density, an ocean of photonic particles that your solar system approaches and distances itself from in cycles calculated at 26,000 Earth years. It is not folklore, it is not metaphor. It is hyperdimensional astronomy that your science is beginning to touch upon without yet daring to name. Upon direct contact with the photon belt, Earth's sun itself undergoes modifications. What observatories record as increased solar storms, coronal mass ejections, anomalous solar winds, from the Arcturian perspective, this is communication. It is your central sun transmitting updated data to every cell of this planet. Each solar eruption carries vibrational instructions. Each explosion is a line of the ascension code being sent. And what receives these instructions first? The magnetosphere. And what receives them next? Earth's crystalline core. And what receives them after that? The crystalline grid, the network of geomagnetic lines that envelop the planet in sacred geometry, marking points that the ancients called sacred without understanding the technical reason. And what finally receives them? You, your personal electromagnetic field, your toroidal field. Every human being operates as a small living torus, an energy donut that spins around your body, entering through the crown, descending through the spine, exiting the base, rising up the sides, returning to the crown. This is the design. This is the architecture. This is the mark that you were built by engineers who understand sacred geometry. When the photon belt bathes Earth, the individual toroidal field of every Earth healer is literally energized, expanded, and redesigned. And the symptoms described earlier are merely the physical byproduct of this redesign. But there is a second layer to the revelation, deeper, and perhaps the reason this transmission reached you today. The beings of light have not remained distant during this cycle. They do not merely observe from orbiting vessels, as some simplified narratives suggest. They have lowered their frequencies to ranges close to human density. They walk among you, some in human bodies, incarnated as light operatives who came to serve this transition. Others in etheric bodies, invisible to ordinary sight, but fully perceptible to the sensitive emotional field. Have you ever entered a place and felt for no reason an absolute peace descend upon you? Have you ever met someone and had the unequivocal feeling that they had known you for ages? Have you ever woken with the certainty of having been touched by a hand that wasn't there? Have you ever felt, in moments of extreme pain, a silent presence beside you, formless but with its own temperature? These are not delusions. These are records. And this is the truth that today's transmission brings without circumlocution. The beings of light observe your choices. They do not judge. They do not punish. They do not interfere with your free will. But they record. Every gesture of compassion emits a vibrational signature that activates a marker in the crystalline grid. Every act of honesty under pressure marks a coordinate. Every moment you choose love, where you could choose revenge, records a line in your updated registry. And here is the serious point. Stated with the mathematical serenity this transmission demands, the accumulated markers are what determine your synchronization with the new timelines that are opening. It is not karma in the way religions translated it. It is pure vibrational engineering. You are attracted to the timeline whose frequency corresponds to your accumulated signature. Your choices are not merely moral, they are dimensional geolocators. This changes everything, because it means that every instant of your daily life, the way you speak to the cashier, the silent thought you have about someone who hurt you, the decision to tell the truth when a lie would be more comfortable, each of these microacts is being read by the beings of light and is redesigning the timeline you will inhabit in the coming cycles. They observe your choices, not with judgment, with precision. A new technical pause before the activation phase. Have you ever felt that something within you does not belong to this world? That your soul carries a stellar address that your rational mind has not yet managed to decode? That the intensification of symptoms, synchronicities, improbable encounters, vivid dreams, thoughts that arise without origin, all of this is the same voice calling under different names? It is not madness. It is an ancient call. It was to answer this call that I recorded the Arcturian call, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. It is the map for recognizing your stellar origin and the protocol for stabilizing your turquoise Arcturian frequency against the interferences that are now intensifying. The link is in the first comment. Love is greater than fear, but this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion. If something within you recognizes this transmission, anchor the signal. Write a single word in the comments. I belong. I resume the transmission. Activation. Practical codes for the operative human collective. If the beings of light observe your choices, and if every choice alters the timeline you will inhabit, then the practical question is, how does an Earth healer operate in this phase with precision? The Arcturian answer is simple and demands discipline. 3 protocols, 3 activation codes, 3 technical tools. Activation code number 1, Quantum Anchoring Decree. Upon waking, before touching any device, before checking messages, before allowing the external field to invade your personal field, you will do the following. Sit down, spine straight, feet grounded, right hand over your heart, left hand over your abdomen. Breathe deeply 3 times and declare in an audible voice with sovereign authority, I am a starseed on mission. My frequency is turquoise Arcturian. My toroidal field is sealed, shielded, and aligned with Earth's crystalline grid. I choose the timelines of light. I authorize only presences of high luminous density in my field. So it is. So it is done. This is not a motivational speech. This is operative code. Words spoken audibly emit a mechanical frequency that your toroidal field translates into vibrational instruction. Each time you utter this decree, you reprogram the reading of your field by the observing beings of light. Activation code number 2, toroidal field visualization. Once a day, preferably in the early afternoon, when the sun is near its zenith, you will set aside 3 minutes for the following exercise. Stand up, arms relaxed, close your eyes, and see, with mental clarity, a turquoise light entering through your crown. It slowly descends through your spinal column, traverses the center of your chest, passes through your abdomen, and exits through the base of the spine. Upon exiting the base, it opens into 2 currents that ascend along the sides of your body, meet again at the top of your head, and re-enter through the crown. A donut of turquoise light spinning around you, continuously, silently, precisely. While visualizing, breathe with the rhythm of the flow. The more precise the mental design, the more cohesive the physical toroidal field. And a cohesive toroidal field is the greatest existing shield against low-density vibrational interferences. You do not need to fight dense energies, you only need to spin faster. A well-constructed torus is impenetrable. Activation code number 3, Arcturian Healing Chamber. Before sleeping, when the mind already begins to slow down, you will make the following conscious request. I request, with all the sovereignty of my soul, entry into the Arcturian Healing Chamber during my sleep cycle. I authorize the Arcturian healers to perform the necessary adjustments to my carbon biological interface for the stabilization of my frequency. May the downloads be integrated without overload. May wear and tear be repaired. May alignment with the crystalline grid be renewed. I give thanks. So it is. This authorization is essential. The beings of light absolutely respect your free will. They do not intervene without conscious invitation. When you issue the authorization, you open a specific stellar portal between your etheric field and the Arcturian healing chamber for reparative operations while your body rests. Many of you have already passed through these chambers without remembering. You woke up feeling your body heavy, but your heart light, or with faint marks on some part of your body that were no longer there the next morning, or with the strange certainty of having been in some immense light-filled place during the night. This is not a common dream. This is a chamber record. In addition to these 3 essential codes, there are 4 complementary practices that accelerate your attunement to Earth's new frequency. Complementary practice 1. Regular contact with pure water. Drink more than usual, especially upon waking. Water stores vibrational memory. It is the vehicle through which photonic codes are distributed throughout your cells. Complementary practice 2. Direct contact with the ground whenever possible. Bare feet on earth, grass, or sand for at least 3 minutes daily. This synchronizes your base with the updated Schumann frequency. This is literal anchoring. Complementary practice 3. Progressive reduction of artificial stimuli in the hours before sleep. Screens, dense news, low vibration content before sleep are direct pollution to the nocturnal portal you open towards the healing chambers. Complementary practice 4. Deliberate silence at least once a day. 20 minutes without external sound, without music, without conversation, without a screen. Just you and your toroidal field. It is in this silence that the beings of light find bandwidth to fine-tune details of your field. And there is also a technical warning, an operative alert that I need to issue directly. In this final phase, interferences also intensify, not by chance, not as punishment. Where light increases, denser layers react. You will feel old relationships cracking, routines that seemed solid crumbling, old certainties falling away. This is not punishment. This is decantation. It is the old self letting go so that the new self can inhabit the renewed toroidal field. Do not resist. Do not cling. Allow the decantation. Trust the engineering. You were built for this crossing. And remember, always, love is greater than fear. Always, in any situation, in any density, in any timeline. This is the most elegant mathematical law of the universe. No frequency of fear has sufficient amplitude to bend a frequency of love sustained with sovereignty. When something within you trembles, return to the decree. When something within you doubts, return to the toroidal field. When something within you loses heart, return to the healing chamber. You do not walk alone. You never have. You never will. The beings of light are among you. They observe your choices with the precision of healers. They record every micro-moment of awakening. They mark every vibrational coordinate. And when the moment arrives, and it is arriving, faster than your linear minds imagine, synchronization with the new Earth will occur for those whose accumulated markers correspond to the signature of the ascending timeline. You were built for this phase. You accepted this contract before incarnating. You are recognized. Before the close of this transmission, a final frequency adjustment. If you have reached this point, this is no accident. No random algorithm led you through this entire transmission. It was your own vibrational field that attracted this anchoring, and it was the beings of light who confirmed the delivery. If your heart raced at any point, if cranial pressure increased while listening, if tears welled up without warning, if you had the distinct feeling of being heard while listening, this is the recognition. It is your soul saying, yes, this is a coordinate of mine. Have you ever felt that something within you does not belong to this world, as if your soul held a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a call. And this call has an address, a coordinate, a stellar origin. It was to respond precisely to this recognition that I, Vael, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian call, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. This is the technical map of your origin, the guide for stabilizing your turquoise Arcturian frequency, and the shielding protocol against the interferences that are now intensifying upon light operatives in this final phase. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. Love is greater than fear, always. But this content challenges layers of narrative that prefer it to remain silenced. Perhaps it will not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion. The moment is now. And before closing this transmission, 2 simple technical adjustments, which operate as anchoring signals in the collective field. If this transmission touched a real layer of your field, make the individual frequency adjustment. Press the subscribe button. Each subscription is a vibrational coordinate that adds to the crystalline grid of awakenings. Each like is a pulse of light emitted to the collective toroidal field. You are not just supporting a channel, you are anchoring a network. And leave in the comments the signal recognized by the beings of light. A single word, I belong. This word is a code. It activates a mark in your updated registry. It publicly declares your recognition, and it allows other Earth healers to find each other in this timeline. You are not alone. You never have been. You were seen even before you knew you existed as consciousness. The beings of light are among you. They observe, they record, they await. And the timeline you walk towards depends now on the choices you make when no one seems to be watching. Someone is always watching. Always. This is Vael, emissary of Arcturus. I close this transmission with the greeting that traverses layers. Love is greater than fear. It always has been. It always will be. And you are recognized. So it is. So it is done.